But the actor who wakes up with the horse, he rehearsed with the fake horse head.
Like, I'm speaking to the Don. I don't want to mess this up. Like,
How does the sound design build tension for you guys, specifically between Michael when he shoots Salazzo and the cop?
when he just straight up lied to her, saying he didn't kill, and just straight up lied and said, "Never ask me about my business."
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chicago Cinephiles podcast. I am your co-host, Daniel. Joined with me, as always, is the wonderful Don James and the fabulous Don Steven.
Please.
Fellas, how we doing today? How's your crime ring going? How's the family treating you?
Prison Mike is not pulling his weight, so he's gonna go upstate soon.
Mike.
You at Rikers Island?
Yep.
Well, welcome everyone. You are not seeing the same video, so please don't turn off. This is not Godfather 2. This is still Godfather 1. This is a fantastic
Godfather
background.
5.
So we wanted to keep it. So we decided to do it backwards. We said we're going to do Godfather. Actually, the wheel told us we were doing Godfather 2 first. So today we are doing Godfather, the original. And yeah, I don't think there needs much introduction, so let's go ahead and dive in. So The Godfather was released on March the 14th, 1972. Pi Day. Stars in the movie is Al Pacino as Michael Corleone, Robert Duvall as Tom Hagen, Diane Keaton as Kay Corleone, James Caan as Sonny, Marlon Brando as Don Vito, and directed by Francis Ford Coppola. It's a pretty good cast there. So these numbers are more like I remember we talked about the second one. I didn't think the budget, like the money, was that good compared. This is fantastic. The budget was 6 million, and they grossed anywhere between 250 and 291 million. It was the highest grossing movie of all time for a while, basically, like for the in the box office, whatever. However, it was only nominated for 7 nominations for the Oscars and did win 3, including Best Picture, Best Actor Marlon Brando, and then Best Adapted Screenplay. AFI ranks it as the second best movie of all time, and in 1990 it was selected by Congress for preservation, which is becoming a theme. So awesome. So now, Stephen, if you'll give us a summary of the movie, and then we will dive into the rest of the podcast. Take it away, Stephen.
All right, it is. I type. Here we go. The Godfather centers around the Corleone crime family, as run by mafia boss Vito Corleone in post-war New York City, and the reluctant yet inevitable rise of Michael Corleone, Vito's youngest son. At the beginning of the film, Michael is a decorated war hero who wants nothing to do with the family business. But after Vito survives an assassination attempt by a rival mob family, Michael is drawn into a violent mob war. To protect his father, Michael kills 2 powerful enemies of the Corleone family and flees to Sicily, where tragedy strikes when a Sicilian woman he has fallen in love with is murdered. After Michael returns to America, he takes over the family business after Vito's death. Calm, calculating, and ruthless, Michael eliminates the heads of all of the rival mob families in a single coordinated series of assassinations shown in the film in a horrifically violent yet beautifully breathless montage, securing his power as the new Godfather. Ta-da!
Wonderful. Thank you, sir. All right, so now, for those of you who don't know, we're going to dive into what was going on during that time period, because maybe that affected the voters for the Oscars. So we're doing 1972. So in January, Nixon launched the space shuttle program. In January, my mom's least favorite song hit number one, American Pie.
Really?
She
She doesn't
hate
like it?
she hates Don McLean or whatever his name
Oh
is,
my God, I love
like
John
with a
Wayne. Oh,
Yes,
passion.
bye bye,
that
Miss
whole
American
album is
Pie.
just one of the best albums
You
ever
know,
done.
someone asked him what the meaning of that was. Well, American Pie. He said basically the meaning is I don't have to work anymore.
Mhm.
That was the answer he gave the reporter because it doesn't really have like
Oh,
people
I
kind of
love that.
argue what the meaning of it is. He was like, the
Even
meaning is I don't have to work anymore.
and the rest of the song on that album are just great. Oh wow, we'll have to talk to your
uh,
mother about this sometime.
yeah. In January, this is pretty cool. The Japanese soldier was found hiding in Guam, thinking World War II was still going on.
Really?
Crazily
Mhm.
enough, when they found him and brought him back, he then found he met his wife and they did their honeymoon in Guam. And then he got a statue put of him because of like the resilience. Because in Japanese culture, surrender is a sign of weakness and dishonor, and he never surrendered.
But he was hiding.
No, he
So
was he was told to like stay on this part or whatever. And so he lived and like he would hear the Americans like doing the intercom saying the war was over, but he thought it was like propaganda. And so he would like, cut their wires of the trucks and everything when they were parked and stuff. He would like sabotage and steal. It's pretty interesting. You should look it
um,
up. Anyway,
Oh,
leading to really good episodes of both Gilligan's Island and Wonder Woman.
right.
They were
and
pretty good.
Uh
also Archer.
And Archer, you're right. Yes, you're right.
in March, James Brown performed at Rikers Island. That was kind of interesting. Just really random, you know. In May, J. Edgar Hoover dies.
That's very good,
In
Jeff.
June, the Watergate burglars were arrested.
Yay.
Also in June, Title IX was enacted. In September, Bobby Fischer became the first American to win the World Chess Championship.
You
He's
was
very
sick. You was
he's a
sick.
very fascinating character. If you guys don't know much about him, highly look him up. Unfortunately, in September we did have the massacre began at the Munich Olympics. In November, Nixon was reelected. This is for Steven. In November, Pong, the video game, was released.
Best video game ever. So,
In December, Joe Biden loses his first wife and daughter in a tragic car accident.
yeah.
In December, Harry Truman dies. And then
Hmm.
for you baseball fans, in December, baseball star Roberto Clemente dies in a plane crash.
Where's Bobby
Um,
Fischer? I don't know. I
that's
don't
a
know.
really Roberto Clemente is really sad because he was flying to do humanitarian work and like his home country, I think it's the Dominican Republic, whatever, for like a hurricane relief, and the plane crashed and killed him. And
Don't
he
get
was
on
like in
the
his and he was like in his 30s. I mean, he was like young. He was still, but he's a Hall of Famer and stuff. So, but yeah, it's just really sad. But anyway,
And what is American Pie about? About people dying in a plane
about
crash.
yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. There you go.
All right. Don McClain's going to sue you, Stephen. Now tell me.
Um,
With that being said, let's get the morbid stuff. Y'all give me some fun facts about The Godfather.
well, here's one
Well,
that I didn't know that I was watching
okay.
something earlier today. Al Pacino was just a theater actor, pretty much either one movie before this. The studio didn't want him, did not want him, and there were the reports that the studio kept calling him, even after he started filming him, that little dwarf,
Wow.
that little dwarf.
Wow.
And they
We
even
sure that
then like
wasn't Tom Cruise from last week?
yeah, really well, there you go. But yeah, that little dwarf, and they even throughout the dailies of the first part of the filming, they didn't like him, and they had to. And so Ford Coppola moved up the assassination of the two guys, the filming of that, and said, okay, if he doesn't land this, he's gone.
Wow.
He knew that they would but they saw him sort of be nervous and then sort of take control of the situation and become so cold and calculating. They said, okay, now we got something, which is what he sort of plays throughout the whole movie, which
That's
is
really
great.
cool.
Go ahead, James. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Oh, you're fine. So I had to find a Star Wars connection somehow. So I had found one.
Carrie Fisher was going to
Apparently,
play Vito Corleone at some point, right?
that was my second Star Wars. No, my first one was apparently George Lucas put together the mattress sequence, montage of crime scene photos with headlines about the
Oh
war between the five
yes.
families as a favor to Francis Ford Coppola for helping him fund American Graffiti.
Hmm.
He did ask not to be credited, And apparently, Lucas did use real crime scene photos. And the corpses on the ground near the chain link fence is Frank Nita, aka the Enforcer, Al Capone's right hand man,
Mm.
who had not been murdered but actually shot himself during the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I found
Love
my
those
Star Wars connection
details.
in this movie already,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought it was fascinating that
Yeah.
Francis
Because
Ford
then
Coppola helped bankroll American Graffiti.
he shared an office with someone. I can't remember who. Was it Ford Coppola maybe in the 70s? Because they had no, it wasn't. It was someone else because they had auditions for Carrie and for Star Wars in the same studio. Like there are people auditioning for
Is that
Carrie.
why Carrie Fisher got the role? Because they thought she was
Uh,
supposed to be trying out for Carrie.
They're not dirty pillows, Mama. They're not. You know. Oh
You
my
got
God.
Carrie, then you got the band Europe singing Carrie. Wrong
You're gonna love
section,
me. You're
wrong
gonna love
place.
me. I love that. Oh my
Any
God.
other any other fun? Those are some good ones. Any other fun facts before we get
So,
started?
one I didn't know. Maybe this is more known by everybody else, but they attempted to use a fake horse's head, and Ford Coppola said it doesn't look right. Doesn't look right. We have to use a real one. So after no horse was killed for this, don't freak out, horse lovers. But they had a horse that whatever died, and so they took the horse. It matched the horse they were using for the other shot. But the actor who wakes up with the horse, he rehearsed with the fake horse head.
Mm.
They took a break. The crew replaced the fake
No.
horse with the real one. Actor returned, and when he's uncovering, yeah, he sees the real one. That's a real reaction.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So you're catching him freaking the hell out because he's now in bed with this horse's head. Yeah.
That's
Really, a
Welcome
lot of
to
that,
crazy.
filming in the 70s. Hey, everybody.
a lot, a lot of the stuff was improvised, like
Mm.
where he. Well, so my one of my favorite is James Kane improvised this part where he throws the FBI
The
photographer's
camera.
camera to the ground. That was
Was-
apparently unscripted,
And then
and
throws money down
I
after. I
love
love it.
throwing the money
yeah,
down.
yeah, it was like apparently because he said where the idea of throwing money came up from breaking his camera, as he put it. Where I come from, you broke something, you replaced it, or repaid the owner.
Mm.
And I also found this kind of funny as a gag. Apparently, Marilyn Brando, who was getting hauled up during the when he was returning home
Hospital.
from the thing
Oh, okay.
in the hospital bed. Apparently, he added extra weight underneath the bed as a prank for the people trying to carry him off.
Well, that's what they did. That's what they say Joan Crawford did to Betty Davis during what happened to Baby Jane because she had to carry her around. So Joan Crawford wore ankle weights, 10 pounds of ankle weights. So Betty Davis was killing herself trying to get it. And then there's after in the filming of that, I guess Betty Davis could figure out what's going on and actually kicks Joan Crawford in the head when she's trying to
Oh
fake
my
kick her.
gosh.
Oh yeah, they loved each other. Oh yeah, yeah.
All
Sounded
right,
like a
y'all.
healthy working relationship.
Watch Feud. Oh, and there's the oranges. I think we talked about this last time, but
Yeah.
anytime you see oranges, buddy.
Someone's gonna die.
So I'm not ever going to have a citrus fruit again. I'll be a citrus,
Um,
but I won't have one.
let's be honest, Steven. When was the last time you ate an orange anyway?
Thank you. Just last week, I had a bunch of Tangelos or Tangelinos or whatever it was. Thank you very much. How dare you? You're so mean to me.
No, because you. Well, I just say it because you like the grapes. That's why I always say it because you're
I
a
like the
grape.
grapes.
I don't
Listen,
mean I don't mean like you don't eat fruit. I'm just saying you like grapes.
I
That's why
mean,
it's
is
like
it because you like to be felt like a Roman?
he likes some frozen.
treasure baths, treasure baths.
It brings back memories when he was a youngster. Yeah, see. All right. Let's go and hop into the movie. So, um, thankfully we had all three seen this movie. So, I guess what was our initial thoughts going into the movie for a rewatch? Or Steven, you watched it for the first time a few weeks ago because you were catching up on the thing. So I'll start with you first. Just I want to hear your opinion on it.
Again, I thought boy theater. I mean, I say that all the time, and if anybody's watched one of these from us, they'll know what I think. There's a certain Chicago theater that is done, especially in non-equity or side theater, that is done by a bunch of straight boys who want to do plays where they hit women and act tough and be kind of mafiosos, and it's the most, to me, boring theater I can see. It's like watching an Irish play. Oh, you're gonna write a meandering poem about how horrible your life is. That sounds great. Let's do that for 3 hours and sit in the theater and watch it. It's just boring. So that's what I thought I was up for. I was like, this is going to be a lot of violence and a lot of blood for no reason. With no, so I just, I dread this. But then seeing especially Pacino just sort of commit and knowing the audition stories about how the studio did not want Marlon Brando at all, and that he went in and putting cotton balls in his mouth and taking shoe polish, putting on his hair, and just becoming the grandfather in front of the camera. That to the point that someone in the studio said, "Who's this old Italian guy you got? See, was he under contract?" They had no idea.
Wow.
So that to me is, but like I said, I decided it was going to be boy theater, and I'm so not interested in that, at all. But
I understand.
At all.
James, what did you think? What was your initial thoughts on a rewatch going into it again?
Like, oh, good. I'm gonna get to rewatch it again. Like, I was so happy to rewatch it. Like, I watched all three of them like a couple weeks ago. We did The Godfather, and then I had watched the original Godfather probably in March, and I'm like, this is great. Every time I watch it, I still love it. Like,
It's still good,
such a
man.
great movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was excited to watch it again too. But yeah. All right, so did you guys enjoy the opening scene with the very famous Godfather scene about, you come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding or whatever, and then the wedding scene itself? To me, the first time I ever watched this movie, I knew there's going to be a lot of violence, but it kind of puts you at ease because it's like this is a normal family. I mean, it's a big family, but it's a normal family. But you know that to respect the Don. And then Stephen or James here mentioned about the James Caan thing. That to me made me respect him more because he wasn't just a bully. Yeah, he broke the camera, but he gave him the money to buy a new one. He just didn't want the pictures taken. Because that's just part of and so like to me this scene does a great job of making you honestly fall in love with the family. Like I love the old guy when he gets up and goes da da da, da and then they make like the whatever the nursery rhyme joke fun of him like the music and he's like like I just it I guess it diffused me or whatever the word is like kind of made me feel like
I
this is not going to be full of like Steven said a boy movie or whatever term you
I see
used.
what you're saying. I think with this and the Deer Hunter both, I want to go. Okay, we get it.
When's the
You
shoe
want us
going
to
to
be
drop?
want us to be on your side. We want you to feel ingratiated.
That's a
We
good
get it.
point.
It doesn't have to be an hour and a half
That
of
was an hour and a half.
the Deer Hunter is like
The Deer
45
Hunters, but this one wasn't though.
at least.
Oh,
And you're like, good God, we get it. They're married. Can we go to Vietnam now? Come on. But this is very long to where you go, we could cut some of this. A lot of the dancing and blah, blah, which is again, it's great. It just doesn't move the plot along to me.
see, I think I love the wedding scene because I think it sets the tone, like how people interact. So like Lenny Montana when he was, going up. Apparently, he was also nervous to work with Marlon Brando. Sorry, and so like seeing him being nervous to work with, when he's approaching it, they use that for the movie. But like, I'm speaking to the Don. I don't want to mess this up. Like,
I love that.
I'm speaking
Yeah,
to some powerful. Um, and then like you see him rehearsing the speech, which they later added later. But you don't invite me for coffee. You don't do this. You don't do that. And you're asking me a favor. On like, I feel like this movie like sets like the beginning. It sets the rules of how to approach the Don, what to do, how to interact with the family.
Be
Also,
a
you do
man.
fall in love with
Be
the
a man.
but
That
I love the opening scene.
I
I didn't
agree.
appreciate it the first watching, but like after the six, you start to appreciate it.
I think what you're talking about though is for this guy, this I can't remember the actor's name, but he wasn't an actor. The guy that gets his stabbed, and then he's hanging off the end of the bar,
Oh
like
yeah,
so much dead weight. But but that's to me the beauty of a good director is who was it? Forget what actor. There's a director who says that if you're lucky enough when the cameras are rolling, you catch magic. You don't plan for it. It kind of happens.
mm.
And you have to know that you're catching magic, catching this real life moment. And then you can work backwards. You can put that into your stick, but you're lucky if you get one moment of that on film in a movie.
Hmm.
But if you get more than two or three or four, but that's a director going, oh, cut! You're not supposed to be nervous here. We're supposed to talk. I mean, that's not the way to do this. This is an actual real life moment we're seeing, and so, okay, let's lean into it. And that's what it is. If you can't, if you don't know what to do with something, just lean into it hard, and that's what I think this guy that Ford Coppola does this movie. He leans in when things don't work right. Why does this not work? Okay, someone's trying to tell us something. Let's lean in hard. And that's one of my favorite moments when he's so scared. But also, my favorite moment is him talking to the singer, the Frank Sinatra. Be a man. This kills me every time. Makes makes me laugh because it's totally Frank. I don't care what anybody says. It's totally Frank.
I enjoy
Here,
and then I also enjoy the introduction of Michael and Diane's characters. So I think it does a really good job, and I think it shows too this movie's not going to be a quick. Because to me, like something I wish I had more of was more like calmness and more like slowness about stuff. Like I get excited, I want it, and these guys are just very methodical, very like I just anyway.
mhm.
All right, let's move on to the scene that Steve was talking about earlier, the horse's head in the bed. That that scene has to be one of the craziest because like I didn't picture like when I first watched the movie, I didn't think it was gonna be the horse. I thought he was gonna be dead until I saw like the blood everywhere, and then I thought, it's kind of funny because you think about it, they put a horse's head in the first one, but then they put that stripper in the second one for the senator, or the prostitute or whatever. So it's like, man, they love drugging. I don't think he was drugged, but they love putting dead things in the bed with people. Just kind of
Yeah,
funny.
him just
I mean,
I think with the second one, there's also that don't they send him fish?
That's the
There's like
first
fish.
one.
Is the first one?
They
That means
send
they're
them. They send
fishes.
the guy who gets his hand stabbed. They send his bulletproof vest with
Oh yeah,
fish, and
the
says,
fish.
"This is a sign you swim with the fishes."
Sleep with the fish. I mean, the people who came to Chicago to see if Chicago could be the host city for the Olympics, 10 years ago or something, when it ended up going to I don't know somewhere else, but they didn't choose Chicago. I've always said because that's what we had Daley as our mayor. Those people are dead now. Those people are sleeping somewhere in Lake Michigan because they did not choose Chicago. And Daley was like, okay, kill him. Like that's just Daley to me. He was like, don't take care of him. And that's why I want him back as our mayor,
I'm about
quite
to say he's the
frankly.
best mayor y'all we've had. um,
yeah.
Take
James,
care
what
of things. Gotta take care of
what
things.
did you think about the horse's head scene?
So, the funny thing is, it's like one of the most parodied scenes. Like, and when you actually got to see the source material, like, I think the first time I saw that parodied was the Rugrats, where like,
The
I don't forget which
Rugrats?
yeah, Rugrats, where he
What?
like opens his like blanket and there's like the toy head horse
That's
I'm
on it,
funny.
talking to
and
like
then it is,
there's a fake friend over here that I've never seen
and I'm
before. It's
like,
like, what?
so like you see that as a kid, you're like, I have no idea what this is referencing,
Yeah,
but Nickelodeon loved doing that stuff. But
that's
then like
funny.
when you actually see it, like the actual source material of like where this comes from, you're like, oh,
Mhm.
this is awesome. But no, I love that scene. It is so
I would
quoted. It
scream
is
too a
so
five hundred
parodied.
thousand dollar horse getting your head cut off
I
Yeah.
mean,
because that's like
I've woken up
generational
with a lot of dead things in my bed, but never a horse's head.
because they
Never
would
that.
use it for
Oh
breeding
my.
purposes for generations. But yeah, great scene. One of my favorite scenes in the movie. That leads me to the next thing. What is y'all's favorite scene in the movie?
The
This is
montage.
such an iconic one. What's your Steven? What is it?
Montage. Hands
Yeah,
down. The montage at the end is just brilliant. It's just brilliant. You don't see it coming. And at first you're like, what's going on here? What?
yeah,
Oh, I get it. Like, it's one of the best and well used montages that's ever been done in film. It's just brilliant. And especially to hear what they're talking about, renouncing Satan.
hmm
Oh, wow. It's overwhelming. And it happens so slowly. And there's no rush to it. It's just like the way Michael's going to have his entire run as the Godfather. It's
Yep.
slow, it's methodical, it's thought out. There's nothing, you never see him lose it. And very rarely he does. When he does, he brings it back under
Yeah.
control. So you don't know when he's going to pounce. That's scary when you're around those people. What about you?
James,
It,
go ahead.
it's the montage. Like that is such it is so good. Other than like the door closing in the end, but
Yeah.
like the montage that it's my favorite scene because it's
What you
so
want?
beautifully edited and
So
I'll
the
done.
I'll
juxtaposition.
I'll agree, and I'll give you a different one. But I'll play a cool thing too to think about is like the symbolism of the baby getting eternal life or being baptized while other people are being murdered. It's just like a contrast. I really like that scene, obviously, but another scene I want to give a shout out to. It's not very. It's I think it's kind of an underappreciated scene. Is the scene when Michael goes to the hospital and the baker or whatever shows up and he's shaking like crazy because he's not. To me, that shows you like there's normal people, air quotes, because he like is not a gangster. He's not. He's like, put your hand in your coat, pretend like you're got a gun, and it's like I
Yeah,
just love that whole scene because it's so suspenseful. You don't know if they're going to get him, to a different room or
mhm,
not, different floor. It's so suspenseful, and then you hear the steps, and you're like, oh
yeah.
my God, what is? And it's just the baker,
Coming up, coming up, coming up. Who's coming
it's
up? Oh
like
God!
so good. But yeah, no, I agree. The montage is just fantastic. Um, I guess that sort of leads into the next question is how does the sound design build tension for you guys, specifically between Michael when he shoots Solazzo and the cop? How
What?
does that like the sound or lack of sound? How
Oh,
does that
my
I
thoughts.
don't. What do you mean?
So
Go ahead,
the
James.
music, the
the
sound?
soundscape.
Let's see, yeah.
So like
It-
the subway is like it's the heartbeat. Like it gets louder and louder, and then like the climax when he like goes in and like kills him, it's that horrible screeching sound. Like
Yes.
it's like, and it's not a traditional score. So like I'm assuming back then, like it's like it's still used nowadays. We're using unfamiliar sound. It's not as used, and I don't think it's ever was done as good as this. But using like non-music, so the audience didn't know how to feel.
Mm.
Like I think that score was great.
And the
Like and
silence when he goes into the bathroom and he can't find it. You're like, oh my God, did they not put it in there? Or did they find it or did they not put
Put
it
it
in
in
the
the
right
women's room. I'm not
bathroom?
gonna have to transition to get this
Yeah,
done.
yeah. Do I gotta be a
was
trans
it
person?
was it the second henchman in the movie? The second movie, was it that henchman that put it in there that couldn't hit
Yeah.
anyone?
Was it the ones that couldn't kill nobody or was it the good ones? No,
Yeah.
I'm glad you
Wait,
noticed that, James. Steven, I'm surprised you didn't pick
I
up
just
on the
it really didn't. I guess because I saw. I'm pretty sure I saw Tina Fey in one of her shows
where is this going?
no, it's really funny. You'll like this at Second City, and they had a blackout scene where they just have something happen and they black out. They say something. So this blackout scene had all these people sitting down, and then the lights went crazy, and you see people like it's like Star Trek. They're being thrown this. Ah! You hear all that kind of screeching metal. Blackout. Belmont. Next stop, Belmont. I laughed so hard at that, and since I take the train every day, not thank God, not the red line. I
The next barrel of the loop at 8 minutes.
I an inbound train toward the loop will be arriving shortly. Who is this woman who recorded this at the Addison stop on the red line?
It's
An
great,
inbound
dude.
train toward the loop will be arriving shortly. Who did she sleep with to get this? Because it's still playing to this day.
Yeah, it
Still
is. Yeah, that's so funny.
like the commercials when I first moved here. Want to buy a watch? A what? A watch? It was a
Or the
watch.
faces on the at the park where they have the spraying waters,
Look
like
at those low rates. Like all those, like oh, that Chicago stuff kills me. Oh my god.
But James, I'm glad you noticed it because I also think the because at first you're thinking like, is this in his head or is it really screeching? It's like, is this really happening? Because it's very convenient for a cover up of a gunshot. You know what I mean? Because he's walk. I mean, he didn't
Yeah.
walk out obviously, but you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's
No.
just. And honestly, that scene is very crazy because like the actors do a great job because the cop he gets shot I think in the head first or maybe the neck first
Yeah.
and like he like looks like he's just completely like shocked like because he's not dead instantly. It's like I think he's shot in the neck first and then he's like and then looks at him and then but she's like that was a great that's a great scene honestly. um
No, the sound design was
yeah,
like I think ahead of its
I
time.
agree completely. Yeah. I think just in general, this movie, like with like walk up the steps, like we mentioned, the intro of the daggone movie, just that very slow. Was it trumpet playing? It's like everyone knows that song. You know what I mean? Um, and then let's go ahead and talk about it because what'd you say, Steven?
This wasn't Hamlet with the trumpets or the king enters. 5 minutes of trumpet. Oh,
Yeah,
here
exactly.
we go again. Here we go again.
Uh, let's just talk about it one more time. The scene with the five families. Like, let's just. I know we talked about it earlier, but it's on my list. Just bring it up again. I think it's one of the best, like you said, montages out there. Like I was thinking like Rocky and stuff, but like this was such a good montage.
It's not an 80s montage, which is here how we train to win the big match.
Fair
That's
enough.
all the 80s was. Rising up, back to the top. Like
And two very buff guys running down the beach in like the shortest shorts I've ever seen in my entire life. No, this montage is so good. And
um,
like even the way they shoot, like the way they kill them is so, like it's not just, oh, I just found them in the street. It's he locks the one guy in the elevator, the
yeah,
rotating thing. He shoots the one guy in the elevator. He shoots the guy with the glasses getting a massage. The one dude's in the bed, and the other one is the police officer that shoots him on the courthouse, pet like the steps. It's
very
like
similar in Batman,
it's
very much.
so good. Ah, I
Hmm.
love it. Do y'all want to
You're
add
right.
anything to that? I'm just
I
giving
would
you guys the
say that
floor for a few
the
minutes.
thing that always kills me about montages, from every Rocky movie ever to Butch and Sundance, when raindrops keep falling on my head, when they're bicycling in the rain, it they seem to be in American movies. Montages seem to be a means to an end to get a lot of information done fast. Here we're gonna cover a lot of ground, a lot of time.
Yeah.
And we're gonna put in a great hit song that'll be up for an Oscar, which raindrops keep falling on my head was. But this doesn't do that. This isn't about shifting time forward.
Agreed.
It's about slowing it down and showing you all this very methodical information, very, very in a very studied way. It's not about getting something out of the way. It's about featuring something. That's why this montage I think is special. Because you look at any other, like I said, any other movie from the late '70s, early '80s, it's about let's get this over with. We got to get to the next thing. We don't want to show them working out in 25 scenes. Let's get
Yeah.
this over. So it's a cut to the chase thing, which I know I'm always the one who says cut to the chase, but I think that's what makes it special. Very methodical.
I so the cinematography with the darkness versus the light, like it is kind of interesting where the church was very dark and the murders were very well lit. Well, I know they were outdoors and stuff like that, and like they were in
But
well lit
Yeah.
areas. But like to see the juxtaposition of that, like like holy thing being very dark versus like kind of the
mhm,
killing being kind of well lit and kind of you know like it seems like a juxtaposition. Like yeah, he's killing all these people while doing this baptism, and then later kills the father. Like it's like so good. Like
mhm.
the
Which he
juxtaposition.
deserves, by the way.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
no, 100%. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
does, like Steven mentioned earlier, it does set up how Michael's rule is going to be. Like
Yeah.
this is how it's
Absolutely.
going to be. It's going to be methodical, calculated, and
yeah.
become the most parodied thing in on the planet.
Because even in the
Great
second one
montage.
where he talks about where he's going to kill Fredo, and he tells the henchman he doesn't die till my mom dies. And like
I would
Yeah.
again, that's just a slow, methodical, like you said, he's prepared.
If I was Fredo, I'd have had my mother on two different, generators. I'd had a monkey with like a thing winding up to keep going.
I
Like,
would have just
Mom,
like turned
gotta
her.
get your life.
I would have just like summoned Voldemort to the Horcruxes and made her be like seven souls where she couldn't never die. It's like
What you call me, the Horcrux? What'd you say?
it's
Okay.
like yeah, no, it's 100%. So do you guys think that Michael always had a dark side, or do you think that circumstances forced him to change? Because it seems like he really, I mean, by the second movie, obviously, he's, in my opinion, very off the deep end, but we're talking about the first and only. So in this movie in particular, do you think Michael always had that dark side or dark streak in him,
I think
or do you
you've
think
just
this just the circumstances?
I think you've just opened up a movie that we could go to, before The Godfather, because I think we no one's really explored or talked about, or I don't know if it's in the book.
Like his
Uh,
during the
what his
war, how he
wartime
was, or what? Yeah, good
life was
point.
like during war. I mean, you talk to anybody who survived the Second World War. I mean, the First World War was where we came up with the idea of shell shock,
Yeah.
which now we call post traumatic stress. Let's expand the words and make it a lot more meaningful to
We
make
got to
it
be inclusive, Stephen.
call it shell shock and call it a day. We'll get over it. But I mean, it really is that. I mean, even from The Man with the Gray Flannel Suit, that wonderful novel and movie, you see what this did to people. And I've talked about it many times on here. But my uncle, after coming back from Vietnam, of course I didn't know him, but my father, everyone in my family, said you should have seen Bobby before Vietnam
Mm.
and Bobby after. And he's a completely different human being. And Bobby never says a word. I mean, of course, Bobby was on one of those assault helicopters, and he was he was
Mm.
on the gunner, so he lost his hearing. I mean, you have to, yeah, going over here, Bob. He's that. But of course, he didn't talk a lot. But he's extremely kind of a scary man to me because when he speaks, you listen to him because he's seen some stuff and he knows when people are going to be violent because he's had to know when they were going to be violent to keep himself alive. And that's what I think sort of maybe has contributed to Michael being very methodical. But then again, they're talking about him in that last scene in the Godfather 2 saying he wants to go to college and all this stuff earlier. So
Yeah.
I think there's something in him that happened in war
Mm.
that allows him to, he doesn't want to follow in those footsteps, maybe, but it's when he has to, it comes out and it's there because he's had to survive, you know, with something the three of us will never know, a skill we'll never possess.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
I
God.
mean, so like, okay, so I feel like Michael, partially was forged. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he did. Like, we don't know what the military is. And I think a prequel would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But if it's done right, not done
And not
terribly. But
CGI Al Pacino at age 85.
yeah. But like, so like, I feel like Michael was kind of forged. Yes, he served in the war, and that has a profound way of shaping him. But we don't know what he did. We don't know if he enjoyed what he did or not. If he was just dealt with it. But like, I feel like all of the steps. So I feel like he assassinated, you know, police chief and all that stuff as a sense of duty to his family.
Mm-hmm.
And
And to
then,
keep the family safe. Yeah.
yeah, as a duty to his family, like, what are you going to do? Like, it had to be him. And then he goes to Sicily and hiding. And I think that's where it really affects him. Like, he falls in love, he gets married, and then he watches his wife get blown up for a bomb that was meant for him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he was partially forged to be this cold, calculated person. Like, and we get to see his descent into it. And then in the second movie, we get to see his descent into madness.
What's happened to it? Yeah.
Well, let's not hope for a prequel for a little while because we all know they would cast Timothy Chalamet as the character.
Oh, God,
We all know
don't.
that. See, we all know they
Don't,
would.
don't,
See,
don't.
yeah, you guys
Why
both,
would you say that?
but y'all's visceral reaction, y'all both know it's true.
I can't.
It'll be A24
My
Studios doing an
Chalamet.
Oscar bait.
I agree with James. I think he was forged as well. I think what Steven mentioned too is like when you mentioned earlier about him protecting the family. I think that's his most important. And then I think along the way he loses. Obviously, this is going into two, so this is a spoiler, but he loses that because he loses his mom, kills his brother. I also think that he felt like an obligation because if not him, who?
I would say this. I would say Fredo isn't a member of the family anymore to him.
Well, that's what
In
I'm
his
saying. But that's what I'm saying. He's already killed him.
it's not that he's killing his brother. Fredo's not a brother.
And then Tom
I would
Hagen
say,
even like is not even around anymore hardly. So it's like everyone he thought he grew up with. And if you think about it, in the first movie, I felt that he had to do it because Sonny was killed, and then everyone knew that Fredo wasn't going to be it. So it's like he didn't have a choice really. But yeah, no, I think he has a dark side in him. But like you said, Steven, I think war taught him how to be able to shut it off. The military trained him how to be like normal, and then when you got to turn it on, you turn it on, and you
I mean,
you handle
I've
you
told
handle
this story
business.
many times about my uncle coming and my uncle and my aunt and my father and mother were going to dinner. They get in my father's car. They're driving out of the restaurant. This guy backs into my father's car. Then he gets out, which is the guy who's driving. Oh, I'm so sorry. There's no damage. Fine, fine, fine. My father gets back in the car, and the driver pulls forward and backs into my father's car again. So my father gets out and races. What's your problem, buddy? And the guy comes out of the car with a gun. And so Bobby comes out of the car and goes, "You want to shoot something, boy? Come right over here. Let's go. Come on, right over here, this alley. You shoot something right over here. Let's go." And my father is like backing off, getting in the car, putting a bulletproof vest on, and Bobby's going forward. You want to shoot something, boy? Come on, come on. And when he got back in the car with my father said, "Why did you do that?" He goes, "He wasn't going to kill anybody. He didn't want to kill anybody. He
Mm.
knew.
Yeah,
He
because
knew
that's
point blank that no, this guy's not going to shoot anybody. He
has a
just wanted to be a big
skill.
man. He wants to be a big man with his gun. But that's right. You have the skill now, and it's a part of you. That's the beauty of human beings is we can go through horrible, horrible tragedy and gain skills that will allow us to either help ourselves or help
Mm-hmm.
others. That's the beauty of having this mind and this ability to move forward through tragedy. Thank God. You know.
Um, just real quick, the final scene. Stephen James had mentioned earlier about it being so powerful with him shutting the door on Kay. It's very
Horror.
symbolic because it shows
Yeah.
that like he's shutting her out of that life, and then also that's what happens in the second movie. He shuts the door on her when she wants the kids.
I tell you
You know,
what,
she's on the steps and he shuts the door. Like, let's just talk about that scene. Like, what did you guys think about that? Like, I thought that was a perfect way to end that movie.
I feel like poor Diane Keaton. I really do. I watch this and go, is there nothing for this woman to do? I mean, and for the character especially, I go, so you fell in love with somebody in Sicily.
Mm.
She gets blown up. You don't even tell this woman you're marrying. I doubt he ever said anything about him being married or falling in love. And then you go, here's the okay, so she's waiting for you back there. I'll do this. I mean, she seemed like here's the easy way to do this, as opposed to someone I care about. And what a thankless job for both the actress and the character throughout this movie. It's not till the second movie that we see her getting her backbone up and going, you
Hmm.
know what? I'm not doing this. And I don't think I could have been that. I couldn't have aborted my own child to hurt somebody. I mean, I've hurt a lot of people in my life, but never that. It's just to me it seems
Yeah, it's
thankless. I get
crazy.
I get it from the other side of the door, but watching it from that actor's point of view, I go, "There's nothing for her to play here. There's just her being a sort of a
I
doormat.
mean, well, she's there to have kids.
She's there to be a brood mare to the state. Yeah, you're
Yeah, I
right,
mean,
which is not.
she's there to continue the legacy,
But but just
which
think
is
about that.
terrible. Obviously, I'm not. I mean,
If you
it's
were that gender at that age, that's what
yeah. I'm,
kills
I'm not saying it's right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, James, you'll here chime in.
Her closing. So like
you.
when he just straight up lied to her, saying he didn't kill, and just straight up lied and said, "Never ask me about my business.
Yeah,
I'll let you one time ask me about my business." And then he wasn't freaking sincere about it.
right.
And then like he wasn't sincere about it. He just like he ran the cold calculation in his head, and this is where we see Michael at his peak, like thinking, "I need to let this woman believe that I'm telling the truth," and just
Hmm.
bold face lies. And then like the closing of that door,
Oh,
just to twist that knife about that lie.
and then you hear the
Like,
trumpet go off. It's like, oh,
It reminds
guys,
me of that
oh,
moment in Casablanca where Victor says,
Laszlo.
I love you very much, Ilsa," and she goes, "Yes, yes, I know." Okay, if you don't know to get out of this relationship after someone says, "Yes, I know,"
Right.
after "I love you very much," that
Well,
is like red flag in your
Han
face.
Solo didn't learn either,
Well,
or
because
Carrie Fisher didn't know.
Harrison Ford
Princess
was tired
Leia.
and didn't want to film this damn thing anymore. He was so tired of this. This is stupid. So yeah, I know.
There's your Star Wars reference again. Who's y'all's favorite character in this movie? I'll go first. Don Vito's my favorite character because it just sets all the stereotypes that I grew up with, and it's like, the mafia guy being like not really a bad guy because like I praised him for being like, no, we don't want to bring drugs in here. We're just gonna stick with prostitution, gambling, and alcohol. Which I'm not saying that makes it better, but he's like he understands the effects, and I appreciate it because our country's getting hit with drugs every day, and it's like I appreciate that he at least
Thank God.
had some morals to be like, we're not doing that. Even though the guy offered him millions, he told him no.
I would
He's
say
my
Vito.
favorite character, 100%. Just
I would agree with you with Vito because, and I say it for another reason. Just like, uh, just like this is a long stretch, but work with me. Just like what Meryl Streep does with the character of Miranda Priestley. It's I am the one in charge here. I don't have to shout. I don't have to lift my voice. I don't have to do anything but whisper. And you're responsible for listening to me and understanding what I want, not the other way around.
mm-hmm.
Anybody who has a brain in their head and has played Power knows that's the way to play Power. You don't play it like, listen to me. No, listen to me. I mean, scary because he knows, no, I'm in charge here. That to me is the
Yeah.
beauty of that character.
He doesn't
I'm
have
in charge.
Napoleon syndrome. Like he doesn't have. He knows he's the man. He knows he's the
Oh,
big
please.
dog.
Yeah.
What about you,
What about
James?
you, James?
Well, I was gonna say, be Don, but
You can
you
say the
said that.
horse,
So
right?
what
The horse.
I
Yeah, the horse.
yeah.
The horse is my
No,
favorite
but
character.
honestly, I'm gonna say something crazy. I really enjoy the Johnny Fontano character. Like it just
Okay.
cracks me up. Like like the singer and all that stuff. Like every time I see him in a role, like perform, like in this, it's like,
Yeah,
okay, this is kind of funny. Like,
yeah.
but no, honestly, it would be the Don. But
That character reminds me of what the first thing that Don Rickles ever said to Frank Sinatra when he met. Frank went to see him in Florida, and Don says, "Oh, Frank, hey, make yourself at home. Hit somebody." you know, that character is so not a man and trying to be a man. I love him. I love that character too.
yeah,
You're
I
right.
feel like it gets a little bit of laughter and brevity in
Yeah,
the
It
movie,
absolutely.
even
does.
though
And
so
that
it kind
moment
of
was
helps.
not planned. That whole slapping him, be a man. That's not in the script.
Yeah,
That's total Marlon Brando going off of something. That menace. You know,
All right. Do you guys prefer Godfather 1, 2, or I guess 3,
I like
James?
3D. I like Godfather 3D.
I
That's my
like
favorite.
2.5, straight to VHS. Godfather 2.
um,
All right, Steven, I'm gonna start with you since you were the one that you were worried about them being the, whatever you
Boy theater.
said, boy theater. So
I'd say
now that you've
one. I
seen them
think
both,
one
which
is.
one do you like better?
I think one is a. I think one's a better film. I think it's because it's based on better source material. Because it is source material. Because the second one wasn't based on source material. Um, it doesn't have to shift back and forth between two different times, which is great. But I think they kind of chickened out, and they didn't. He didn't chicken out. But in the second one, you kind of understand where the backwards and forwards of the story is. You see it with the children. You see it with the child, a child. They go back and forth, and then somewhere in the middle of the movie, this falls apart. So, but I think this just because it ends on that montage, dear God. I mean, you just don't see that coming, and it just blows your mind. And then, okay, it's over. Goodbye. Have a nice day, everybody. Got some popcorn.
Don't forget tip your waiter at the Denny's.
Tip your waitresses. Hey, we need his love today. It's like whoa.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think the first one.
James.
I toss and turn because I like seeing Michael's descent into madness in the second movie. I think it's very powerful acting. However, I do think the Godfather one scenes are more impactful. And so like it's kind of a toss up for me. It could go either
Hmm.
way, but I'm
You're going
gonna
number 3,
say
right?
yeah, of course, Godfather 3 where he like walks down that theater and like barely, that one. No, I'm gonna go Godfather 2 because I love Michael's descent into madness.
Mm.
I'm gonna go Godfather 1 for the opposite reason. I like Michael being hesitant to take over. I don't like a bloodthirsty villain. I like someone that, he's kind of hesitant, but then once he realizes who the betrayers are, he has to clean house basically.
Mm.
And I don't know, to me it makes him more likable. I know it's bad because he murders people. I know he's a Don, but it just makes me like, I don't know. And I think the scenes are so much more iconic.
Oh yeah. I,
I love
I
it.
think he kills people who would have killed him. I think there's a lot of that. And I mean, rightly so, Daniel, that he's doing this to protect his family. That he knows that if he doesn't kill these five families, they'll kill
Hmm.
him.
Yeah.
They'll kill his mother.
Because
They'll
they've
kill
already
his
tried to kill his dad, who I think is way more
and they
untouchable.
tried to kill him but his wife got in the car
Fair
first. So
enough. Yeah, good point.
thank
Good
God for
point.
women.
If someone has never seen The Godfather, what reason would you tell them to watch it?
Don't be a dumbass. Watch The Godfather. That's what I would say. It's one of the best movies ever. I mean, and I would say it to myself back 5 weeks. Don't
I'm
be a
about to say
dumbass.
6 months ago, you would have told me to
Yeah.
kick rocks if I told you to watch.
Don't be a. I mean, there's certain movies you should just see. And I would say that I say the same thing to people who go, I just don't like black and white movies. Well, don't be a dumbass. Watch Citizen Kane. Watch,
Yeah.
you know, uh,
Sunset Boulevard,
Double Indemnity.
Casablanca,
Watch them. I mean, these are
All About
incredible.
Eve.
And again, these are artists who use the black and white medium to their advantage,
Yeah,
not their detriment.
absolutely.
They say we're going to have to do some kind of, let's make sure that we have, the blinds or making things look like prison bars. They use it. That's you've got an artist when they take what is hindering them and make it into the way it's going to make them look better. To make it into a superior choice. Period. End of story.
James,
I
what?
found out about chocolate syrup and Psycho. I never looked at chocolate syrup again the same way. No, I would say if you are a lover of movies, kind of have to watch it. Not just because it's a great film, but the cinematography being so dark, where Paramount hated it. They
Oh,
hated
yeah.
how dark it was. Um, they called the film director Prince of Darkness because of how
Hmm.
dark the movies were.
No.
But like the editing, like you will not find a better example of editing in here.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
soundscape, how they used sound in a different way than a normal score. Like it is just, if you like movies, just to see how everything was shot, done, some of the most quotable scenes, even the Rugrats did the horse scene. Like it's just, you have to see it, because if you like movies, it has everything that so much takes from it.
Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
I
And don't
love
be a
that.
sheep,
Yeah.
just watch it.
I love that
Speaking of
one.
the
That's funny.
Rugrats, when you said, do you know my favorite thing from what is it? Animaniacs, where they're looking for something in a room, and we should look for fingerprints. And then one of the one of the Animaniacs comes in, and they have Prince, the singer, in his arms. Fingerprints,
Oh, that's
and they
funny.
go,
Oh,
no thanks.
wow.
That
They
was
go,
a
no
Wow.
good
thanks.
bit.
Fingerprints,
Um,
no thanks.
I'll just
That
say I'll just say same thing. Like I would say for the acting, because like if you don't really care about movies, like if you're not like a history nerd or like a movie buff and want to see like the cuts and the just the acting alone is brilliant. I think that's enough to watch it right there. Just the like you said, that just watching Marlon Brando as someone who I didn't grow up with him. Like I'll be completely honest with you. Like my parents, the only movies my parents watched that were older were like westerns. My dad watched them, and obviously Marlon Brando's not really in a western, and so like I was introduced to him through this movie. And so then like seeing just how powerful he was, I'm like, if he's this powerful when he's literally about to die, imagine what he was at his heyday. And that's what got me looking back at some of the older movies that he's done. So I
Mhm.
just, the acting is fan and like I've never been a like, like and honestly, like my generation, like Al Pacino hasn't done a lot of movies lately that's really been a hit. And so that's another character you kind of introduce to him. You're like, oh wow, and like we know James Caan because he's the good dad in Elf, like so it's like stuff like that that like it's
Mhm.
just good to like go back and see them, and it's just like man.
If you want to watch the Marlon Brando at his peak, you watch Streetcar Named Desire, and you go, "Holy, talk about menace! Talk about a guy who is, it's one of the best performances
Yeah.
ever." And he puts on a new T-shirt, and you go, "I don't care if you're straight, gay, bisexual, whatever. You want to have sex with Marlon Brando. That's all you want in that moment." And that's the look that Vivian Lee gives him is, "Oh my God, who is this guy?" That's what that is.
See, I like it better on the waterfront, but it's probably because I also like Lee J. Cobb, who is obviously
Yeah.
from 12 Angry Men. So that's I'm biased on that one. But all right. I'll be curious to see what Steven says because I know Steven likes another movie here, but did it deserve to win? For those of you who don't know, The Godfather, according to IMDb, got a 9.2,
No, I
Cabaret
don't.
got a 7.8,
Yeah.
Deliverance got a 7.6. I think this is pronounced The Immigrants got an 8.0 because it's spelled like with an E instead of an
Ah,
I. And then Sounder got a 7.5. To be fair, I've only seen Deliverance and The Godfather, so I don't have much to golf of, but I don't need to golf anymore. To me, like when you see a master, you know it. Like, when you see a Van Gogh, you know it. So I'll say that The Godfather deserved to win 100%.
Oh
I
yeah,
will
I
say, go ahead, James. Tell me.
Godfather. I can't even pull up a wacky ass movie. Like Godfather deserved it to win, and I have seen Cabaret, and I still think The Godfather.
I will say, I mean, to me, Deliverance is a close third. I would say Cabaret is first. I mean, because here's the thing. Here's what you're doing with Cabaret. You're putting the musical back into the main fare of what we can watch in cinema. The musical was dead. And Bob Fosse had proven that by doing Sweet Charity and it flopping in the box office. But for him to take Cabaret, to bring new songs into it, to have some songs be the performance of the MC and Sally Bowles in Cabaret, and also have some songs be in the real world, like Tomorrow Belongs to Me, and have it reflect the times. I mean, we're talking about Nixon in the middle of all of Watergate. Cabaret, it's so much harder. I know that no one will believe this. It's so much harder to take books, which are like, speaking, and move into song than it is to just have people talking. So I have to say it's going to be Cabaret. And if anybody's out there that thinks that Wicked or Wicked for Good was a great musical, watch Cabaret and shut up, because those two films suck. And this is a real damn musical, you know.
Well, Deliverance is me and Steven's documentary growing up.
That's our life.
Um,
We didn't. We thought that was a documentary
yeah,
when
I
we
was like,
saw it.
what is this? This like who filmed the Fowler family vacation video? What is this?
Ding, 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 ding.
And then I will say, everyone, just so you know, Steven, the gay mafia will not come after you because you did pick
I'm just saying,
Cabaret.
Cabaret. I mean,
I think you're a little
just
biased about it, but
tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow belongs to me. You've never seen it, Daniel. Just to have this young boy sing this beautiful
to
song.
me, the fact that I've never heard this song and then like I consider myself kind of cultured, to me that shows that it wasn't as big of an impact as you think it is. In your bubble, it is, but not as a. I'm not
I mean,
and I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying like the
No,
Rugrats
I
did Godfather. Have the Rugrats ever done Cabaret?
have they probably done like Liza Minnelli
No, they
impersonation?
haven't, James. Don't even
I
start.
don't think so. I was trying to
They don't
search like
parody
the
a
I'm not.
lot.
famous.
The
They don't
Rugrats are not
parody.
the arbiters of good taste. Everybody, okay? I'm
Steven doesn't even know
sorry.
what Rugrats are, probably.
I do too. The
Okay, Steve
Rugrats.
James has The Simpsons parodied Cabaret
Yes, they have.
versus.
Oh, they have. For sure,
I
yeah.
know. I'm just picking. I don't know, but
Well, they I would say they've parodied Godfather more than
they've parodied
Cabaret. So what does that
everything.
tell you?
Who are we kidding?
So what does that
No, but
tell you?
I appreciate your input, though, just Steven. Like I'm not bashing you by any means. I know
Oh,
that
I
was
know.
a,
Stephen,
and I
blink
understand that.
twice if somebody is making you say these things.
Yeah, and I understand that like that's a big part of your life and your culture. Obviously, I totally get it. Like, you
Bye
know,
bye, my leave. I feel the same.
like, cause you have to like lies that if you don't, you're not gay.
But that just
Apparently,
proves to me that I think that's why I think certain musicals these days just suck. Watching they're too choreographed. I even stage musicals these days. I'm a big homo, and I can't enjoy watching musicals anymore because they're over choreographed, and they're oversung.
and they're from this
It's like
century.
watching at the opening of the Obama Center when what's her name sang uh, "What a Wonderful World." I was halfway through the song before I realized she was singing "What a Wonderful World" because she was doing a lot of. I don't care. Sing the song. Don't sing your vocal gymnastics.
Was that before or after they had to apologize for stealing the land?
This is our apology for stealing
God, the
land.
world we live in. Anyway, all right, let's go ahead, James.
Indians are off camera going. We're right here. You can give it to us right now
Yeah,
if
wait,
you
we'll
want to.
take it
Bye.
back.
We'll take it back. We're going to casino,
James,
but we'll
this is
take
gonna be a tough one for you, but give us your Duck Award.
I'm gonna have to give it to Francis Ford Coppola because it was stacked up against him. Not
Yeah.
only did he deliver one of the greatest movies of all ever made, but he did it under budget
Mm.
and under time when Paramount thought like kept trying to find ways to fire him and
Oh yeah.
replace him. Like
Oh yeah, buddy.
and like what he was able to do, like with all of the improv to make the movie better, like and not like like shtick improv, but like to actually genuinely make the scene better.
Yeah.
So and not really being recognized for it. So for whatever it
For
means, Francis Ford Coppola, if you ever see this, you get the ducky for me.
And if you ever want to come on the podcast, let us know.
Franny, come on,
We will
Franny.
drop anything.
James will actually give you that Oscar that he's got in his hand.
I would.
I-
I will travel out
can't.
to New York to give it to you.
Every time I
Sorry.
hear Francis Ford Coppola, I think of that scene from Chelsea City. Well, what do? I work for Francis, the talking mule. Ford Coppola. It just kills me every time I watch it.
That's funny.
The Talking Mule? No.
All right. Well, if you made it this far, hopefully we're more entertaining than a talking mule. But if you have made it this far, please do consider
Oh,
liking,
Mr. Ed.
subscribing. We really do appreciate it. Now we're gonna go and pull up the wheel and pick the next movie. So let me
Please,
share my
please,
screen.
Any holograms win. Any holograms win. Any holograms win. Please, please, please.
You want
I
another
just
5-hour movie?
I
No, I'm
I
done
love
with the
Gump.
win. It's
It's
too
gonna be
long.
something terrible. I just have a feeling we're doomed for one. Oh God, it is.
Any holograms win.
It's
What is it?
no. Sorry, I thought it was Schindler's
Green
List.
Book!
It's Green Book.
Oh, this is good
Green Book.
movie. I enjoyed
Oh,
this movie so thoroughly. I'm so excited for this
I have
movie.
not, so I'll
I'm
be.
not.
This does this have Viggo Mortensen in it?
I don't know, but
The guy from
I think
Aragorn.
so. Oh yeah,
Okay.
it is such a great movie. You guys will be very surprised. Although I don't know if it makes fun of the South too good.
Oh, I don't care.
But it's a
we make
great
fun of those.
movie.
We know that we're
It's a
silly.
great movie.
I do.
It's one of
The
those
only thing I
times
know
I
about
thought
it is
a more
there. I
recent
know,
movie
like I saw a YouTube
deserves.
video one time where someone had an argument about it shouldn't have won, and they had a reason why. But I didn't actually watch it. I just remember
White
seeing it like
savior
in my.
movie. They call it the white savior movie.
I saw it in my success, like in my recommended. But I'm excited. I've never. Steven, have you seen it?
Nope. Mm-mm.
Me neither.
Oh, good.
That'd be good. So James, you're leading next week, right? Is that what that means?
Yeah, I can lead.
No,
It's a great movie. I'm excited to rewatch it. I
All
remember
right,
seeing it
y'all.
in theaters.
Well, tune in next week for that. Once again, thank you guys so much for showing same back time, same back channel. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. And like I said, please do like, subscribe, follow us on TikTok, all that things. And until next time, this is Chicago Cinephiles Podcast. Signing out.
Yay.